Welcome to the You Are a Force podcast channel, your go-to space for real stories, fearless dreams, and unstoppable women rewriting the rules. And the force behind this podcast. Here is your host, Binoli, Botadara.
Hi everyone, welcome to You Are a Force, the podcast where we celebrate incredible women who just don't find a seat at the table, but they actually build their own stage and redefines industries with unstoppable passion. I'm your host Binoli Botadara, and it's my absolute pleasure to invite someone who is a true master of her craft and a voice you recognize, face you've seen, and also a force you can't ignore. She is a woman who turned a degree of electronics engineering into an electrifying 3-decade-long career in show business, an actor who commands the screen, a singer who captivates the soul, a trendsetter of a VJ, Channel V, but also at this age, okay, I'm not going to reveal the age, but at this age also, she is a B4U VJ at this point in time, a voiceover artist with an unmatched range. So from the world of theatre to heart of Bollywood, from the iconic music videos with international artists to the new age digital screen, I'm not sure if there's anything she can't do, and she is a force to reckon with in every sense of the word. So this is not enough. Then she has recently won the Best Actress Award in Hollywood film, and now she has also become a producer to an award-winning film. So I can't wait to actually dive into who she is, how she is, and how she does all of these. So it's my absolute honor and pleasure to welcome none other than extraordinary Suchitra Pillai. Suchi, thank you so much for being on Your Force.
My God, my pleasure entirely. My pleasure. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for that lovely flowery introduction. I'm very, very happy with that one.
I haven't even touched like a fraction of what you've done, but I want to start by saying thank you, and not just for doing this, but also making my soul very happy. And when I say this, you heard Manasi's podcast, which I did, and you DM'd me that I've done a great job. And I took a screenshot, sent it to all my friends, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Suchitra Pillai actually did it. So I always...
No, it was a fantastic podcast. And I know Manasi for years. She's a social worker. So the way you captured her and the way she was on your show is exactly how she is. So that was nice to see.
But the reason I'm saying this, that I always admired your work, but I fell in love with you as a person, and I thought that someone like her takes time, DMs a stranger for appreciation of someone's work. I think that just made my soul very happy. So thank you for doing that, and I'm sure people will be able to see how great you are, and I can't wait to explore your journey. So let's hit rewind. I want to go back to the days in London, a chapter where a 20 years old electronics engineer suddenly casted as a lead in a French film. I'm not going to butcher the pronunciation, so you need to tell me the name of the film.
I was about 22 when I did it, 20 when I went to London. But after doing engineering here, I'd moved to London because that was my first marriage and he lived there. And I would have had to work do 2 more years of study to work as an engineer over there. And I was not one of those who was I was South Indian, yeah, so I did the engineering, but I wasn't really, fully focused into engineering. So I did a whole bunch of other things, working in a restaurant as a hostess, just a whole bunch of other things. And during that time, I was also with a model agency, and I was the only Indian on their books. So I would do a few ads here and there, which I have to say, I would always be the token Asian face per se.
Sure.
But but other than that, they got a call from a casting director one day saying, we're looking for an Indian actress to play the lead in this movie called Le Prix d'une Femme, The Price of a Woman, which is about the dowry system in India. It's a kind of a serious film. And do you have any Indian actresses on your books? And they said, we have one girl, but we don't know if she acts. Now, I had never done any professional acting before. And I had only done some theatre when I was young, 10 years old, 12 years old,
Sure.
In Bombay.
But,
it was not like professional. I was like amateur theatre.
Yeah.
And so I said, so they called me and they said, would you be interested in going for this audition? And I said, chalo, why not? And I should wear a sari at the restaurant. And I got the call at the restaurant and I said, Chalo, let's go. So I went just like that to the audition. And Jennifer Jaffrey, who was the casting director, she gave us these 2 scenes, which were really intense scenes. The second one demanded that you break down and cry and, beg the French actress to get you out of your situation, etc., etc. There was a girl before me who I think was studying at RADA, Ashara, all of that. I had not had any training in acting, nothing. And I overheard her telling Jennifer, it was 10 minutes you gave us to get into the skin of the character and we couldn't do that. And I'll do my reading. And she did her reading and she left. When I went in, Jennifer was looking me up and down. She said, who are you? And I said, I've just come to England and I'm from Bombay. And she said, oh, okay. How long have you been acting? And I said, ma'am, this is my first audition. So she said, oh, okay, please sit down. Let's do the reading. I said, no, ma'am, I don't want to sit down. I'd like to use the space if you don't mind and kind of act it out. So she was like, okay. She said, yeah, you can use the script. I said, no, I don't need to use the papers. She said, you memorize the scenes. I said, yeah, thanks to my engineering. So, ratifying books. So I said, yeah, I mean, if I forget something, I'll make it up along the way. You just play the other part. By the end of those 2 scenes, as the scene demanded, I had actually broken down. I was howling, I was in tears, and I was at her feet, as the dialogue demanded, begging her for help. And she just looked at me and I was still in it. And I was still crying, at the end of it. And she caught me and she put me on the sofa next to her. And this is what kind of changed my whole life, as in my career path. She looked at me and she said, Suchitra, please tell me the truth. How long have you been acting? How many years have you been acting? And I said, this is my first audition. And she said, you do realize this is what you need to be doing? And I said, really? Yeah. So I got shortlisted. The director came from France. There was me and another girl. He saw me, took me. The following week, I was in Sri Lanka shooting a French film as the lead in the movie, staying in a 5-star hotel. And I was like, Arey, yaar, this is damn good, yeah. So came back to England. And that's how the journey began, frankly, just thrown into the deep end. A lot of my life has been like that, thrown into the deep end and then taking steps from then on, what comes next. So I did a lot of theater after that, which is what was the advice I was given. Radio drama, radio plays, theater on stage, children's theater, all of that. And then I did another English film called Guru in 7 also. And it was it was an interesting journey for the 7 years that I was there.
Wow, that's so amazing. And the kind of confidence you had from the first moment, that itself is like speaks volumes, because a 22 years old girl doesn't know jack shit of acting, but actually going and doing this, I think that
well, obviously I knew a lot about acting because I got the role.
Of course, you're gifted, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I really want to understand that you started this acting as an outsider in the foreign industry, like in the UK, and then you did French film and English film and other roles. So, did that give you like kind of a creative armor or a perspective that you wouldn't even have had maybe if you started in Bombay? And was it?
Yeah, I would think so. Mainly because I think, for me, then the background, after doing that first film, the background became theater. Whether it was radio drama or whether it was theater or whether it was children's theater, where you actually take the set and go to a school, do the play, take the set, the doing backstage stuff and everything. And I always maintain that theater is the best stepping stone for any actor who wants to get into the industry, because it really teaches you a lot, not only about voice modulation and, it's very different from film and television, yes, but it is the true test of an actor. It really is, because you're not given any retakes, right? You have to be good at that one shot, and either you get brickbats or you get bouquets. So that's what I think really, I have no regrets that's how it began, rather than me doing something here. And it could have been different when I was in engineering here. It could have been what you described, because Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, the movie, I was actually offered Aisha Julka's role. Wow. And I had just joined engineering. It was my first year. And they said, you'd probably need 6 months off your first year. And I said, no. But it's all naseeb. It's all written there, It was, if I was supposed to do it, I would have done it. It was meant for her. and she did it. That's how I take everything that happens in my life. There's no regrets at all. When I see Pehla Nasha, that song, then I regret it, but otherwise, otherwise I don't.
Most romantic
So
song.
yeah, so it could have been the other way. Again, with no background in acting, I could have done that movie, but I chose this instead, and no regrets.
No, and also I think, I'm very glad that you took this path or it happened to you because it actually gave you the entire holistic approach to everything to do with
Yeah,
art. Otherwise,
yeah,
you would have just been a mainstream actress. Maybe you would have tried doing everything else, what you did. But I believe that, the music videos and all other things which you actually learned.
yeah. That was also very exciting. While I was there, I got the opportunity to be in Apache Indians Arranged Marriage. This is all through that model agency. I was in Bali Sagu's video Dil Cheese. I
Uh-huh.
was in a video for a singer called Basha from New York. I was in well, then my singing thing happened, and I was in videos for a song that I did with Rashid Taha, um, called Indie. I did a second song with him on his album, where I sang in Hindi, he sang in Arabic. And I also sang with Kula Shaker, the track Govinda, which a lot of people know. I'm the female voice, the double track of that voice with him, with Crispin Mills. Yeah.
Wow, that's so inspiring. So, when you came back home to Bombay and you entered the entire Indian, acting scene, and you started the soap drama called Hip Hip Hooray and Rahe. So,
Yeah. Rahe Papa. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. Rahe Papa. Those were all, the original TV serials.
yes,
Um, uh, Rahe I did with Shefali Shah, and Papa was with Kiran Kumar. Those were the original TV serials. Hip Hip Hooray, Margarita. These were all really serials which were way beyond their time. Rather, I mean,
yes,
uh, people watch Hip Hip Hooray even today.
yeah,
The fan following we still have from Hip Hip Hooray is amazing, and to get a role like that straight away, to play Alaknanda ma'am, where she is this unwed pregnant mom,
yes,
pregnant woman who is a physics teacher but is loved by the students and everything, was quite pathbreaking, frankly speaking. And she decides to keep the baby, and so I got good roles even then. In Rahe, I did this role of this woman who was having a bad marriage with physical abuse, and years later I met somebody on the underground in London, and she said, "Ma'am, I just need to tell you something. Watching you in Rahe changed my life." And I said, "Sorry." She said, "I was going through the exact same thing that your character was, and I followed what you did." And so,
chills, yeah.
yeah, so you don't know how you affect people's lives by just doing what you love.
Oh my God, that literally gives me chills. But that's incredible because and also it just makes me wonder that you started in all these incredible women's characters, but a very authentic Indian wearing saris and those kind of roles. But over the time, or over the period of time, your personal style evolved, and anytime I see you performing like a modern Western woman, so what do you think influenced that evolution of this rebellious, modern, maybe an activist kind of a woman?
I have to say, a lot of the time, I mean, from the movies, they always saw me as this, well, in a way, I was kind of typecast for a little bit, starting with DCH, where I got my role as the bitchy Priya. After that, there was the wife in fashion, Arbaz's wife. And then there was the bitchy costume designer in page 3. And I asked Madhur Bhandarkar once, because I've done a lot of work with Madhur from
Right.
Satta onwards.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, "Kya yaar, you're always giving me these roles with, that bitchiness." He said, "Kya hai na Suchi, tu aise hai nahi na, jab tu aise acting karti hai na, to twist ho jata hai." So I said, "Okay, I can't." Uh, but yes, as far as looks, etc. go, a lot of people saw me for a long time as this very South Bombay, for want of better description, this sophisticated Western kind of person,
Yeah,
the socialite, that
correct.
kind of thing. But
Yeah.
there were then a few other serials like Be Inteha, where I was only in saris, and it was a Muslim drama, and I was speaking in Urdu, and I was only in these saris, which became a huge thing. Suraya Abdullah saris. We could actually buy them, in the market because they were very distinct. So I'm happy that, I've never had a problem, whatever the director or the costume people decide to give me. I was okay with that. My personal style has always been exactly that, my personal style. I have never been dictated to by magazines or by what's trending or what's not. What I feel I look good in, what I feel confident of wearing and walking out the door, without having to do this, that, and the other, that's what I wear. And till today, now my daughter's 17 and a half. Till today, I'm sometimes roaming around in shorts and a t-shirt. And, if her friends come over and all, I'm like, please let me know, okay, if you want me to change and stuff. And she's like, Mom, yeah, you can just wear what you want, So my personal style is my personal style. I don't try and be anybody else. I don't try and copy anybody else. And I just like to be comfortable in whatever I am. I do realize that at least I feel sometimes that I do look better in Indian clothes because of probably my look. But a lot of people in my workplace seem to think otherwise, which is why I was always given these Western kind of looks until recently.
So if I were to actually judge, I think you mold yourself so authentically and so beautifully that you can look from a village girl to a modern woman in like...
Which, speaking of village girl, Karkash is a film that I'm very proud of, which was a very art house kind of film. Kamal Sadana directed that one. And well, if you put it on YouTube, they say a hot scene between Anup Soni and Suchitra. That's the first thing that comes up. But the movie was beautiful. I played this very de-glamorized village girl. And he was the first person to be able to see that. Which I was very happy about. It got, critically, it was pretty well received, but didn't get like a release anywhere. We went to festivals, etc. But it was a very, very powerful movie with a very powerful character. And as I'm saying, so, I wish more people would have seen me in that thing. One big thing is I always wanted to work with Shyam Benegal because I loved all the work that Smita Patil did, God bless his soul. But that didn't happen. I used to keep saying, thinking, someday he'll call, someday he'll call, someday he'll call. But then it didn't happen. But that's okay.
We can manifest that maybe Sanjay Leela Bhansali can do it.
Possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
Manifest this. And speaking of all the films, Suchi, I'm calling you Suchi, that's fine, right?
No, totally fine.
Okay, cool. We talked about the films, and whenever your name pops into my head, I think of Priya in Dil Chahta Hai. And it's such an iconic character. It's irritating, I'm sure, but every girl can resonate. Every girl can resonate with it. Every man also can resonate because they would have
they don't want their girlfriend to be like that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So many years have passed, and still today people say, "Aren't you the DCH girl? Aren't you that?" I'm like, "Wow, girl." I said, "I'm 55 years old, man. But thank you for remembering, because that obviously means that 15-20 minute role was so well written. The character was so well written, and I'm happy that I, probably gave justice to it. But yeah, people still remember that one. The girls come and say, we wish we could be like that with our boyfriends, and the guys come and say, thank God my girlfriend was not like you, So Priya, and that was it just happened. Farhan is a friend. He wrote his first film and he called me up and he said, hey, Suchi, tu ye kar rahi hai. So I said, oh, okay, chalo, karti hu. And he said, come to the office and meet your co-star. I went to the office and there's Saif Ali Khan sitting there, and I'm like, and he said, yeah. And I said, so do we have to audition or anything? He said, no, yeah, you're all here. No, both of you stand up and just start jogging on the spot. There's a jogging scene on the beach. I just want to see how you all look jogging. So that's Farhan Akhtar for you. But what a brilliant film to be part of. And I'll always be grateful to him for kind of just giving that role to me and just being very confident that I could do it.
My God, it was written in the stars. I think it's one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
I had a recent conversation with Aduna, and Aduna, like, we blunted the entire
stuff. Yes, of course.
And imagine what they created. Like, it changed revolution, how Bollywood does hair.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
And in those days, Farhan had been, what, 25, 26 years old?
He was 26, yeah.
And creating this, it's like...
And being able to direct Dimple Kapadia and Amir Khan and Saif and all of these established stars was just like something else.
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I adore him and I follow him in various capacities because he's
Yeah.
on this Mard also, one of his non-profits, and
Yeah.
which is so inspiring. And the way
Yes.
he speaks about women, it really, really makes me very happy. So I want to know about all these roles which you've done from page three. We just spoke about fashion. All these roles were mighty big in terms
Yeah.
of what you brought on the screen or
Yeah. Even though it was small
the
screen time,
story.
but yeah, well
Yes.
defined.
So
Mm.
what's the secret sauce of making this supporting role looks like a lead? And also, I want to know that these choices have they shifted the views in Bollywood from the main character energy?
I would have to say now in movies now there are definitely a lot more of the character roles which are really well defined characters. For me, I was lucky in that all the movies that I did were already well defined. Whether it was a Madhur Bhandarkar, whether it was Pradeep Sarkar for Laga Chunri Mein Daag, or
Yeah.
whether it was Farhan Akhtar, all of these people, Rajat Kapoor in the Svidania, all the small roles that I've done have always been rather well defined. Of late, now we've seen that coming back again, where you do notice the supporting role, and some of them are really, really good. The ones they kind of hold the film together.
Yes.
I would have to say I never turned around and said, "Oh, but why can't I get that role?" No, because the very fact that that director is seeing you in this role, a role that millions of people would do anything to get, and he's seeing that amount, is giving that amount of confidence he has that you're going to be able to carry it off, was enough for me to kind of
Sure.
take on the parts, no matter how small, just to be able to work with all of these wonderful directors. And money may not have been big or anything of the sort, but getting that experience of working with all of these people, and for me as an actor to be able to not be typecast and not look the same. So Priya is not the same as Arbaz's wife in fashion. I can't remember the name. All of this, so that they're all different. It's up to you to do the layering, which
Yeah.
is what I, would try and do, and hopefully it's come through in all of the work that I've done. That they all don't look the same. It's not that big eyes, bad mother-in-law look that you see in a lot of TV serials. Even
Yes.
the TV serials that I did, if you were to watch Be-Inteha, I'm sure some of your viewers probably would. My character Suraya Abdullah was so layered, so beautiful. She was the mother-in-law you loved to hate. And that's what gave me my biggest fan following. That though I was the villain of the piece and I was the bad mother-in-law, they there was such layers. Her love for her husband and the older couple, they were showing that, the love for the children, the hate for the daughters-in-law, the mysteries that come out from her past, all of that adds to it. So, layering a character then becomes very, very interesting for
Yeah.
any artist to find something. And that is what I say, theater is so important. Because then when you're reading a script, because in theater we sit and we analyze everything before you walk onto that stage. Where does this person come from? Where is this person going to? Why is she behaving like this way in this scene? What has brought her to this point? All of that homework, which a lot of people sometimes don't get the opportunity to do. Now, I have to say, in present day, a lot of directors give you that time. There are workshops, there are readings, and all of it to flesh out the character before you actually go on set. But earlier, it wasn't like that. You go on set, you get your dialogue. You're lucky if you get your script before, and you do your best. But I enjoy that process of trying to layer the character as much and just see the underlying text.
And speaking of the layered characters, when you perform like something dark and something really not, um, you know, people would like,
Yeah.
does it mess with your brain? Do you bring that back home, or do you actually, as soon as you leave the set, you just forget about it?
So I was doing Betal on Netflix, which is a series which SRK Red Chillies produced. Fantastic series with Vineet, Kumar, Hana Kumra, all of us. And it was a killer series, 4-part series. And in that one, I sometimes scared myself, I would have to say, because I get possessed, right? In that, I'm an army officer. I'm the captain of this team. All of them are under me, and then I get possessed. But it wasn't this type of getting possessed. It was very subtle, but very, very scary.
Really?
So yeah, it was just the look and the turn of the head and the stare and the staring. And she grows gray overnight. She gets gray overnight after entering this tunnel. And after that, just and then this noise that she makes just by staring at this child, so that way. That time I had to say, not only did I scare myself sometimes, but I I scared my family for sure. My husband has still not watched it.
Oh God. He has to live with her, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, no, why do you have to do all of these things? I did another horror film in Hollywood called The Other Side of the Door. Um, and of course, though I didn't turn into any zombie or anything in that, but it was a scary film. And every time when children are involved in the scary part of it, it's even more scary.
Sure.
So Sarah Wayne Callies, the one from Prison Break, Walking Dead, it was us, both of us, and there was one other actor and two other kids, and that's it, the whole movie.
Wow.
And I played the housekeeper, and who kind of causes the whole problem. But there was a scene, there were scenes like where, it's how they shoot it. I swear to God. I mean, there's a scene where I'm walking through this house and I'm just going up and it's just me walking up through this house and searching for things to throw away. And suddenly I stop because I'm feeling this presence and I just say, Oliver, I know you're here. I had goosebumps. It was in the afternoon and all of them were there, the Steadicam, the director, everybody.
Oh God.
And I just had goosebumps, and my director had to turn around and say to me, "Don't worry, Sushi, we're here." It was great fun. So yes, so characters like that, I'm so glad that I don't bring them home because it would be very scary if I did. But there is a tendency sometimes to carry a bit of it. I would say even for my play Dance Like a Man, whenever I do that, I've been doing it for 28 years now, the play. We've done nearly 700 shows of it across the world. And we continue to do that play. The same, out of the 4 characters, 3 of us are still the same. So that play, the end is really intense. It's a climax, not scary, but the climax is really intense. And it's like how I did my first audition. It ends up with me crying and this and that. So you do feel a bit heavy at the end of it.
Yeah.
But we try and break out of it with me and Joyce and Gupta going backstage saying, what a scene we did, right? Was it good? Was it good? Just try to break out of it. But sometimes, yes, there are characters that, like The Valley, the movie that I did in San Francisco, the one I won the awards for, in Long Island and in Milan. What a film. First time writer director, Tyler. And a wonderful movie. And for me, that one was a bit of a take-home thing because it deals with teenage suicide. Yeah. My 16-year-old daughter commits suicide, and it's the fight between the family, what happens to them after, and each one blaming themselves. And for me at that point, my daughter at that time was about 11. Yeah, 10, 11 years old. And for me to even have, to think that. Yeah, so
as a mother,
so a lot of these roles, they kind of shake you up in a way, but they make you count your blessings too.
Yeah, because even as a viewer as well, if they can, touch some part of your soul,
yes,
for an actor, it would do that even more.
Yeah.
I want to speak about something very, very loaded, which is a subject, colorism in India. And
yes.
The 2019 survey shows that 60% of Indian women use the skin lightening products even today, and wherein just 10% of the men do it. And when I came to London, I realized that the amount of fake tans people use it to look like this, right? And 33 years ago when you started, it must be very, very different. Today is more accepted.
Oh, yes.
Everyone loves it. Okay, fine. You're more comfortable in your skin. Maybe at least we feel it. I'm not sure in tier 3 and 4 cities if that's still the case, but at least we as urban women are very comfortable with the color we have. So can you tell us any bizarre stories?
Oh, yes. I mean, it was definitely part of my life, this whole thing of being dark. I would have to say, I mean, over the years, I've probably become lighter than what I was. But when I started out, I was darker than this, and I'm lighter than, not by using any fairness creams, okay, by the way. Though my mother sometimes used to tell me when I was a little kid, you want to use this Fluorozone and all. I said, no, I don't want to use anything. Nevertheless, when I started modeling in Bombay when I was 17, that was the original style of modeling, for TV commercials. And I remember the makeup artists then were all the makeup artists who used Pancake and Panstick and all of that. And they all made me about 4 shades lighter. I would always, so it would be Pancake all over, whether it was the arms, whether it was the hands, whether you'd have Pancake to make you look lighter, because that was the norm. They just wanted lighter skinned people. I don't know. Then I didn't have to look like a foreigner or anything like that, or a Punjabi, fair girl like that. No, but that brown was not acceptable. So I got a lot of work, yes, but I was also made to to look fairer, much fairer than what I am. And I look at that makeup and all sometimes now and I say, holy God, how did one even allow it, But I'm so happy that now people are just as they are. You don't have to, and there is not a director that has asked me can we make your skin a little lighter? Not for the last maybe 20 odd years, can we tone down your color? No, not a single one, which is great. Not only that, I did something very interesting with Nandita Das. It was a thing called India's Got Color. And so Nandita, like me, we're all in that category of dark. And she got everybody who was in that range. And we did this music video, which was really fantastic, which had a storyline to it, which was really nice. So she was, bringing awareness to that whole thing of being dark is beautiful. And I've always maintained that. I've always loved my color. And I don't think now I have a problem. I never had a problem with it then, but I had to go with it at 17, 18, you just go with it. You don't question, no, I want to stay. But now I make it a point I generally do my own makeup for all of my stuff, but when I do use other makeup artists for the bigger projects or whatever, I make it a point to tell them, please, please, please stick with I don't want to use makeup on my neck, which means I want to stay my color. Yeah. We don't need to match. Then, I want to be the same color. That's it. And luckily they all understand, because now it's great to be the color that I am. So I'm happy.
Love that, love that. But I'm going to be devil's advocate that because you're so gifted and I love the way you are in terms of on the screen and the way you perform, do you think that when you started out, your skin color maybe was a reason why you did not get any lead role?
Very possible. Very, very possible. Because in Bollywood, the norm has always been the Gori Chitti, Kudi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for that reason, sometimes I wonder, maybe I should have tapped the South industry a little bit more at that point, but I never thought about it, because for me, my career was just like one thing led to another,
Yeah.
But then again, you see the South industry and you have all of these North Indian girls as the heroines over there. So there also, it may not have worked, but now in the South, the people I've worked with, director Priyadarshan in Opam, and I did a film with Prithvi Raj, Cold Case. Both of these films, I was exactly as I am, and didn't have to change the way I looked. Yeah, at all.
That's great. At least that's changing now. You won the Best Actress award in the Hollywood film The Valley in Milan.
That's right.
And it's such a beautiful thing to see that internationally you're recognized as the best actress. But back home, you've always majorly worked in the ensemble cast with the side roles. So does it make any emotional or psychological impact with the reality, or is it frustrating, or is it liberating to actually have international recognition as the best actress, but when you come back home, side, or supporting actress?
Yeah, I would have to say, I was, pleasantly surprised and very excited when I did get those 2 awards. For any actor, it's an insecure business. If we have to be completely honest, it's an insecure business. It's also a business which deals with this whole thing of how was I? I hope I was good. That's always in your head.
Yeah.
And then the result of that is this whole thing of appreciation. But I have not lived my life. There's I don't know if you can see them, but there's lots of awards up there. So there have been many awards, but as far as being the lead character and not being the lead character is concerned, sometimes it has been I wouldn't say upsetting or anything like that, but you've got to accept it as it is. There are some people who've seen that, like Kamal Sadana or like Saila Hussain, for this, or even my other Hollywood films that I've done. Arranged Love was my last one, was quite a lead. I was like the second lead in that. So there are some directors who see you in that way. I don't waste my time, sitting and thinking what could have been and what I wish I was, because there really isn't any point expending your energy on something like that. I really, really, genuinely am happy with where I'm at. I want to work a hell of a lot more. I have that hunger still inside me after all of these years, and it really doesn't matter. It's great if someone sees me, in the lead role. I mean, even TV serials now that approach me, they see me as the lead villain or whatever, which TV I don't want to get back to. It's a lot of time commitment. That's the only reason I'm not doing television serials per se. But so they do see that angle of giving me that, whether it's negative or not. But I'm happy kind of propping up a person as a character role, if it is well defined. I will not just stand in the shadows and be a yes woman or a
Not at all.
just a decoration per se. I will not.
No.
It has to have some meat in it, and then I will do it.
Of course.
Even if there is no dialogue in a film, but I have 4 scenes where I'm really
Impactful.
where the presence is something really thing, I would still do it. So I don't waste my time with that anymore.
That's amazing. And that's something so impactful to hear, because you channelize your energy into the good rather than what.
Yeah. I mean, count your blessings, they say. So
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to your versatile career, but I'm so fascinated when I learned that, you actually got to do the voiceover of Meryl Streep. She's a legend. I'm a huge fan. So when you step into the voices like Meryl Streep,
Kate Blanchett, Angelina Jolie, Maggie Q, Maggie Gyllenhaal, all of so many. Yeah.
So is there a transformation that happens, like when you breathe their lines?
Yeah.
Does it do something to your craft?
Oh, it's very exciting. Dubbing is being a dubbing artist is really exciting, because I mean, it's not your face, it's only your voice, where you have to number one, stick with what that face is doing. Yeah. So if Kate Blanchett's doing something with her face and her voice, you have to match that. Yeah, you have to match that, and it'll be in Hindi. You have to match the sync, and you have to match the emotion. So I can't add my own. I'll be a little sarcastic here when she's actually being serious. No, so that's what makes it very interesting, because you have to be true to that character. There's not so much. I mean, they chose me for certain reasons. Kate Blanchett I've done in Thor. I've done in Cinderella 2. Meryl Streep, I've done her voice in Mary Poppins 2. Angelina Jolie in Beowulf. Maggie Gyllenhaal in a couple. Now, most recently in Sandman and Wednesday. The actress, I can't get her name, the one who plays the principal in Wednesday. I'm her voice. So they keep calling me back for the same people, which is great, because then that means that there has been a connect with the way that I have portrayed that character, and which is why I get called back. But it's very, very interesting, like especially Meryl Streep. I mean, as you said, legend. To be truthful to that, whether she ever watches a Hindi dub or not, the studio guys probably would. And for them to see that you have done justice to that character, and she played this mad character called Topsy Turvy, and she had a song, and I sang the song as well, the Hindi song. I actually sang that song in Hindi, the Hindi version. So yeah, that was my tribute, I think, to her.
So cool. And I wish you get to meet her and tell this in person.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Suchi, your 33 years long career, and this journey is seamlessly across mediums, right? From Channel V, VJ days, to Bollywood, to international cinema, to voiceover artist, OTT, theatre.
theater, compare, singer, all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yes. So
Mother, sister.
so what's the North Star when you actually choose a project? The reason I'm asking is because there's an opportunity cost of choosing a project and missing out on the other ones. So what's the reason? How do you balance the excitement of an opportunity, but you also stay true to your craft? So how do you actually choose what you do?
As I said, our business is a very insecure business. Let's not lie about that. In my kind of strata of actors, we may not be A-list, as they call it, but one is recognized, one comes to me for a certain reason. There are times where they come to you, one with either less money, they just want you to do it, and I will do it. If the project is good enough, I don't care about the money. I mean, I've done short films now for people for hardly anything because I truly believe that the story is really wonderful, and I will, but please don't take me for granted anymore. I've been in this business for so long for a reason. I give it all, I give it my 100%, and they know that. So, sometimes you have to just take it all, okay? Because it's an insecure business, yeah? There are times where you have 3-4 months of no work at all. And so then anything that comes up, you say, okay, I'll take it. You've got to pay the bills, right? So you take it for that reason. Yeah. Saying which, one would not take something where I have to, I'm looking for the word, compromise on my values as an actor. Yeah. I'm not going to be a caricature of myself or a character just because I want to work. I'm not going to do that. There are some projects which are very easy to say no to because you say, oh, holy God, who wrote this? So there's that. But I have to admit, I mean, there have been times where I've accepted A, B, and C because you've got to pay the bills and you've got to do it. So, and it was probably good money at the time. So you do it then. And there have been times where you feel very good because you appreciate it. And that's why, I mean, especially the 4 Hollywood projects that I've done, it's really wonderful because, they come to you just stating a kind of a price, which you're like, wow, how much one would have to fight in Bollywood to get that for a character actor. Yeah. So the appreciation is nice in that way.
Yeah.
But choosing projects, yeah, it's an insecure business. So you choose depending on your scenario at that point.
Situation at that time.
But situation at that point, but also the excitement of playing something new. That's the beauty of being an actor, to be able to play so many different lives when you have only one real one to live. The real one, when you have so many that you can, you can be this person and you can be that person, which Suchi is not in daily life. Yeah. So the brain then gets tested that, my God, this is also possible. That's there somewhere. It's coming out from somewhere. I can be this, this horrible person. I can be this hater. I can be this villain. So it's very, very interesting. And that's what makes my job really interesting. I love my work. I mean, and my friends and family know that I love my work. I can't say this enough. Whether it's theater, whatever it is, it's never a bore. Whether it's waking up at 3 a.m. for a 5 a.m. shift, it's never a bore. It's never a chore. It's never, oh my God, no. I've worked for my TV serial 21 hours straight for Beinteha one day. 21 hours straight, no exaggeration, 21 hours. Because we had to finish something which had to be uploaded, which had to be shown literally the next day. But no complaint. That's what people, at the end of the day, I can truthfully say I'm not one to subscribe to this whole diva behavior. But at 55, there are a few things now that, I don't say that I'm only going to work 8 hours. I'd love to work for 12 hours and 13 hours, but make it worth my while. And, just have a little bit of respect when you're making me work that hard.
Yeah.
There are just a few things. Don't take me for granted. That's all.
But just to add on to that, it's, I think, so much in your DNA, and I don't know you really well, but whatever little interactions we had so far, I think you're so present, and it doesn't matter if, even if it's just the role, whenever we used to chat, you used to instantly respond, and with the affirmation and with actually something which is closing the loop. I think most people I think they just lose it. And therefore, I think when you're saying that, you have that energy, I think you have that energy in everything you do. Maybe in your personal life, maybe with profession. I think that I mean, which was such a refreshing change for me when I.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just, I mean, you have one life to live, frankly, and I think you got to fill it in with as much good energy rather than bad. As I said earlier, there is no point in expending energy on what is not happened or what could have happened or what if. Yeah. Oh, what if Renee Zellweger's voice? I was her also. And that's all what if. There's no point in really in spending your energy on that because it's not going to change a thing. Look forward to the future and give it your all and be positive is my mantra. And as far as my career is concerned, for me, one thing that has really stood me in good stead through all of these years is the goodwill that I have received in this industry. And I know it for when I became producer now for this movie that I did, Who Are You Nanu, my first Hollywood short film, which I produced. After 30 odd years, the number of people, be it people who have put in money for the film, be it technical people, be it my production manager, my art direction team, my special effects guys, they all did this movie for a pittance, saying, Suchi, we can see the passion in your eyes, and this is your first project, chalo kar lete.
Wow.
Just cutting down their price, working as hard, for the project, and just seeing that passion stands for something, that love for what I do stands for something, the belief in what I'm doing stands for something, that is great. And that is what you build up over these years. In this industry, a lot of people lose it when you get that little fame. And
It's into your.
yeah, people ask me, they say, Suchi, how come, you're not a diva, and how come you're so approachable, and how come, you take the time. I take the time. I agree. I take the time to answer people's messages on Instagram. I reply to my DMs. I reply to my requests. I take the time because it's those people who have got you to where you are, however big or however small, may not be the difference. As I said, I may not be A-list, but where I am, I'm very happy with where I am. The fact that somebody recognizes me on the street and says your work was good, that's good enough for
And
me.
that sets you
That
apart.
it should not reach a point. And it's a bit of advice that I give to a lot of people, who I speak or when I give talks, etc. You should not put yourself up on a pedestal for being the one that was chosen to be able to show your talent, your God-given talent to the world, and to get all of those opportunities which so many people would die for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have no right to put yourself up on that pedestal and say, I'm better than you, because you're not. You're just a very, very lucky person who has the talent, who has been given the opportunity to show it. And
So
that's
no
what.
one stays there permanently, right? So
Yeah. And it's a job. When people turn around and say, oh, Suchi, oh my God, she's a star. No chance. Never, ever. There are enough stars in the sky. I am an actor, I'm an artist, and I'm somebody who loves what I do. And I'm an actor. That is what I am. I'm not a star. And I never want to be a star. If that's the definition of a star, being a diva and being somebody who's not approachable, that's not me. I never will be.
oh, I'm so inspired. I'm seriously. I mean, I work in a very different field. I work in finance, and you still meet so many arrogant people all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Because
Hmm.
in finance, everyone thinks that, oh, like I'm a star, I know this, I know that. And most of the time,
Yeah.
when you enter,
Yeah.
especially when you're a woman, they perceive you as dumb.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I've seen that in my industry as well. I've seen a lot of people whom I've known who've changed. And then there's close friends like Ravina Tandon. We both started together at 17 when we did the Sunsilk ad together. And we are still very close friends till today. And you don't see a change in the person. And
wow.
that's beautiful. But there are some people who I met later on in life who suddenly shot up. And then, they don't bother to answer your calls, which is sad when you're calling to appreciate what they've done or whatever. There are people like that who kind of put themselves up and say, I'm number this and I'm number one and I'm number two and number three or whatever. It's not worth it. nobody is anything at the end of the day when you close your eyes and you go up there, really.
Oh, absolutely, touche. And I want to know that, when you produced Who Are You, Nano, which I think won in 1,000 global.
Yes, we won Short Films Matter, which is an international festival, which there were over about 1,000 entries worldwide, and we won it. And we got a 5-star review from them. We also had our premiere in LA at the LA Film Festival, which was great in May. We are having a Canadian premiere soon in another big festival, so that will be great. And yeah, and we're going to a whole bunch of other festivals until next year, March. I'm in the film as well. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. It really is. 15 minutes of just pure emotion. And what this girl, Anjani Azhar, my director, who's the daughter of a friend of mine, 24 years old, and this woman is a powerhouse. This girl is just, she's been already written about in Forbes magazine and everything. And she knows everything about everything. It's like the Farhan Akhtar story, at 26 to be able to do that. This one has done it even earlier. At 24, she knows everything about filmmaking, everything. And it's a pleasure. It was a pleasure to work with her. It was a pleasure to produce this with her, and as she says, make her lifelong dream come true by making this film. So I'm happy that I was able to do that.
Oh my God. And so what was that like from, being in front of the camera, being like a force behind a project? How was it? I mean,
it was great. As I said, my goodwill really stood me in good stead. So I didn't have problems with people, whether it came to discussing money. It was a wonderful experience. I got executive producers from Bombay, Mr. Nes Wadia put in money. From Brussels, Jacques Lafitte, who is an award-winning producer there, he put in money. From London, Navroz Udwadia. And all of these people, Jacques has done he's produced some award-winning French films before, but Ness and Navroz are friends, are just like, soul buddies of mine who said, we don't know nothing about the business. You're passionate about this, right?
Put money
and they Anjani, and they said, my God, this child at 24, she wants to make this film, and we see the fire in her eyes, and we love the script. And without knowing anything, without looking for return of investment, nothing, here you go. So things like that really brought back my belief in the fact that when you have passion for a project, when you give it your all, a way comes around.
Yes,
there's a way it just happens for you. You just have to be true to the fact that I'm not doing it for an ulterior motive. I was okay being co-producer on the film. I only saw that I was producer on the film when I saw the final cut, and she's put my name first up there as producer. And I called her up and I said, Anji, I was co-producer, right? And she said, no, Suchi. She said, what you did for this film and how you made this dream of mine come true. I never thought it would see the light of day. She said, you are more than a producer. She said, you're a boss. So so she said, yeah, you're a boss woman. So I was like, wow, that was a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, it touched me. Sorry. I want to ask that all the projects, all the roles you've done, was it there one role or one project which shifted everything apart from the first one? Something very personally as a person you are?
I'd have to say, oh, there's so much. I think all of them have some, they've never affected me in that way. How sweet, you're crying.
Yeah, because
that's generally me. I'm always crying about anything. I watch a cartoon and I'm crying. But yeah, but all of the roles that I've done, there's been something that is there to take back home. I think my theater roles, probably.
Yeah.
So it would be more from theater, that Dance Like a Man, I would have to say, because I play a double role in that. I play the daughter and the mother. And that's Lilette. I played Lilette Dubé at 30, in her 30s. And that character, my God, she is something else.
Yeah.
She's totally unlike what I am. The jealous mom, who is a successful dancer herself, but she's jealous of her daughter's success. And
Wow.
that's definitely something that I'm not. So to portray that and
Yeah.
to portray that with conviction, which is why we're still running 28 years later.
Yeah, for this long. Yeah.
So that, yeah, that role. And my biggest thing, and most recently, the new play that I've done, Autobiography, that too I have to say, because my daughter came and watched it, and she said, Mom, I didn't think of you as my mom at all, till that one fantasy scene where you act like a madcap. And I was like, wow. Yeah. Similarly, two people, well, the same person rather, in London, twice she has come and seen Dance Like a Man when we were there.
Oh, I'd love to
Someone
watch it.
for a long,
Yeah.
sorry.
Let me know when you guys
Oh
are
yeah,
coming.
nothing now. We're going to do some more shows here, but nothing abroad for dance. But she is a journalist, and she came to me backstage, and that was the first time I realized that I'm in this. I am Lata and Ratna, because every time I walk onto that stage, she came up to me and she said, Suchi, I know you, and I didn't see an ounce of
Really?
Suchi. I
Wow.
saw only Lata and Ratna, and I was like, damn,
A bit
that's great.
confident. That's
I like to completely immerse myself in that, and just find everything that I can find in every character that I do.
yeah. And the industry which you work in, they're obsessed with youth and the way you look. And women have.
Thank God for my South Indian genes. Yeah, as I say proudly that I'm 55. A lot of people say that, yeah, that this month, yeah, August, I turned 55. And
When I started stalking you for this podcast, I'm like, I mean, am I reading it correct? Like, how does she look like 55? And
yeah, people who have worked with me in Channel V and all, just recently, someone says, Suchi, yaar, how can you be the same?
yeah,
Um, you
yeah,
know,
I was about
uh,
to say that. Priya looks
yeah,
very similar
exactly.
to you.
How can you be the same? How can you look the same? I mean, when I first came back from London, I had little chubbier cheeks, but then Channel V days or whatever, I had a flatter stomach. But then again, and didn't have a baby then. But I've been really lucky. I don't do any. I was very into yoga for a long time. I have to get back to it, but I had a bit of a hip problem, so I kind of stopped that for a while. But I was never a gym person. I have to thank my parents for it, because it's just the South Indian genes, I suppose. I'm fully white, actually. Actually, if you look inside, and I'm fully white. Okay, this is all. I have to keep coloring.
And
I've
have you
never
got
colored my hair a different color. No, it's all. I mean, below must be what it was originally, but all of this has been. I touch up my hair color. I have to. Because luckily for Betal, I didn't have to, because I've turned gray, right, for most of the things. So I was just like, I don't have to. I don't have to. Of course, I was wearing a wig, but other than that, I'm happy that there's not too many wrinkles or whatever. But I refuse to do any of the.
Botox and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
look? Oh my God.
yeah. I mean, the only plastic surgery that I've done, which I've been very vocal about, was when I was 17. I had a nose job, and that also changed my life. I had a nose job because I kind of had a hooked nose. It was the same thing, but it was a big hooked nose
Okay.
from my father's side of the family. And I started getting a complex in junior college, and I would always be talking to people with my hand on my face like this, always. And so I knew I was getting a complex. For that reason, after the 12th standard, when my parents said, what do you want? You've done well. And I said, I want a nose job. And they said, what? I said, seriously, because it's affecting me. It was not because I wanted to be a model or anything like that. All that discovery and all of me as a model came later.
That's
But I just
good.
said
You,
it's for
yeah.
my self-confidence and for my self-esteem, because otherwise I'm this extrovert, exuberant type of thing. But then one-on-one with people, why was I sitting like this all the time, and why was I talking to people like this all the time? It was a bit of a complex, and I have no regrets um talking about it. And he's done a great job. Lots of people don't even know that I did one. Even makeup artist who worked on my face.
But
But
that's
I performs in saying that I did, but which is why I'm saying that I don't want to do anything else.
yeah.
I'm happy with the way I am.
Like it's your personal choice, it's your body, it's your face. But even a strongest woman like you, or any other women, or any other woman would also have their battles. And personally, professionally, was there any incident or any situation which actually tested you? And how did you, fight and how did you
Hmm.
come out of it
Of course,
to
of
become?
course, there have been. Um, I mean, the first big blow was my separation of my first marriage, and when I was just kind of setting up my career in England, and then I came back to India, right? Upping at 27 years old, when you just thought everything's sorted and settled, and now to start all over again. But I was not scared. I came back to parents who had open arms, and I just told them that I will make a success of myself. I promise you this. Thank you for taking, for being here for me, and I will not compromise on the values that you have brought me up with. But I promise you that I will do something that will make you proud, no matter what it is. And so that was one big shakeup. Yeah, at 27. And this whole thing of, my God, having to prove, I didn't want to prove to anybody else. I had to prove to myself, and I had to prove to my parents that I can take care of myself. And which is what I did. I came back here, and I met the general manager at a party of Channel B. He was at a party, and he was like, Jules Fuller, who's still a friend. And he was like, oh, I'm the GM of this channel. It's called Channel B. I said, I just come back from London, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, yeah, it's a fantastic channel, but it's your loss that I'm not on it. And he said, sorry? That's exactly what I said. I said, it's a great channel, but it's your loss that I'm not on it. And he said, put your money where your mouth is. I'm giving you an audition. I got the audition. They saw it in Hong Kong. All 6 people said, give this girl her own show. And I got Simply South. And that's how I said Channel B. So that was one thing. And how I used that as a bouncing board to kind of, make a success of something. Other, considering the movie The Valley, where I won Best Actress, at that point, my poor husband had gone and torn his Achilles, just 2 or 3 days before I had to leave for America. My daughter was very young at the time, and it was just him on crutches with that boot and on the thing, and having to take care of my little daughter here alone while he was just like, no, you go and you will do it. Yeah, you will go and do this. So that was a kind of a thing in my mind. Oh my God, should I give this up, or should I, is it okay? Should I feel guilty about it? And he said, no, please just go and do it. And look where it got me. Valley is the one that's got me the biggest recognition up to now. So there are times like that. The show must go on, they say. There have been, oh my God, in theater, there have been lots of instances. I have a little bump on my nose here. That was because during the middle of a performance, a play called Wedding Album in, I think it was Bangalore or Delhi, I have to walk off stage at the end of the thing, and I have to come right back on for the next scene while I walk straight into a concrete wing. Yeah, so I walked straight into that concrete. It was not a proper wing, it was made of concrete. And I knew something was wrong, and I had to quickly change into another kurta standing there in the wing, and I have to come back. The music is already playing, and I'm changing to the kurta. Another actress comes and she says, oh my God, Suchi. And she's looking at my face. I said, what? She said, you're bleeding. There was no blood coming out, and I have to go back onto the stage. So I'm like, get tissues, and keep ice on the other side in the kitchen area. So, and I come running back on with as if I got a cold. Luckily, it was supposed to be 2 days later or whatever. And I'm pretending like I have a cold. The other actress on stage is looking at me saying, suddenly, what is this? Because they didn't know what had happened. Oh, sure. Similarly, Lilette, she comes on the stage, and I say, oh, Mom, sit down here. I've got to show you this. And I show her this, and in my hand is the tissue with the blood in it. Oh. And she, on stage, while she's saying her dialogue, she's just looking at me, and I'm just going, no, it's okay. Like that, without saying anything. So as I said, the show must go on. You do things like that. And and then I kept making own exits for myself, running to the kitchen where they had kept ice, and I was quickly icing it and coming back and doing the scene. So, So, wow. So there are trials and tribulations like that happen. But it's all part of the show.
And that really says that, you respect your craft and your work more than your own self, and therefore you are where you are today. And on that note, I want to ask that if any girl or any young girl who is watching this podcast and planning to enter into the industry today with a lot of dreams, what is that one piece of advice which you give it to her? So that
my advice to anybody, excuse me, my advice to anybody wanting to enter this industry, I keep telling my daughter also, if she has these, if she has this dream of doing it, and, she's got her head screwed well on her shoulders, she herself tells me, and this is something I would like to tell other younger girls, that I will do it only when I'm ready. And by saying that, this is what I would like to tell all of the young people, do it when you're ready. Do it when you know that your talent is ready for that big screen or the small screen or whatever. Be true to this profession. Be true to your talent. Give it your all. Do the training that goes with it. I may not have had any training, back in the day or whatever, but it's important to have some sort of backing. I did drama summer school and everything, just to see what goes on there, but I never did a long course in acting or anything like that. That I learned on the job. I would also tell them to do theater, any form of theater. Please, please, please do, because that's really, really helpful. I would also say make humility your number one friend, please. Ego should not be your number one thing when you enter the industry. Learn to take rejection. It's not because you're not good. It's because it was written in somebody else's naseeb, and it was not meant for you for a reason. So use those rejections as springboards to work. Not only work on yourself thinking that you're bad. No. Yeah. To work at just honing your craft. Let it be. This didn't happen. Something else will happen. Yeah. Something better will happen. Be positive. You have to, in this industry, you have to remain positive, because I really believe in manifestation. I really believe in this whole thing of sending out that energy to the universe. If you sit around saying, oh God, I don't have work, well, you won't have work, frankly.
Yes.
But also, as I said, it's an insecure business. Always have your finger in a few other pies, which is why I have my finger in many pies. I have 10 fingers. Yeah. So, so that if this is not there, I'm got a play to do. If that is not there, I'm dubbing for something. If that is not there, I'm comparing an event. If that's not there, I'm doing a TED talk. That kind of thing. Always have your plan B. And education, finish it. Please finish your education, whether you're on a film set or whether you're in a socialite gathering, to be able to have that conversation, with anybody who comes to you and talks about anything that's happening, that comes from whatever education you have got. To not be standing there like a deer caught in the headlights saying, oh God, what are they talking about? That kind of thing. Give yourself that respect, not to be like somebody else. Give yourself that respect and that strength by having that behind you. And then reach for the stars, because there won't be any fences to stop you.
Wow. Amen to that. And I just want to pick one last thing, that how do you manifest, and how do you manifest in terms of what's your process like? Do you write?
I have a few friends who are spiritual healers, who are people who are my guides, in the sense, who I can talk to. I do have this, I know I've been told by people before, and I do miracle card reading, etc. But I used to only do it for myself. I haven't been tapping into it, but I've been told by many people that I can. How do you manifest? Basically, it's affirmations. It's just being positive. That's the bottom line.
So say
and not get.
Do you write it? Do you have a vision board? What's the process?
No, there are certain rituals that I do, especially on full moon night, etc. Like tomorrow, 8 Lionsgate portal for manifestation, all of that. There are certain things I follow. A few masters like Master Vani Kabir, Shivani Durga is another close friend, like a sister, and she's a big guide in my life as well. Even other close friends like Manini De, etc., who are really powerhouse women themselves, who are like channels. You just feel good sitting in and talking to them. So when it comes to this whole spirituality thing, I'm lucky to have a few of these women in my life who are real strengths. Shruti Desai is a friend of mine who's like my sister. She lives in Goa. So all of these people are who I run to. She's a tarot card reader and a healer and everything. And you just, they're there always, if there are downs more than ups, they're always there to kind of push me up. And as far as manifestation, etc., I'm not one of those who sits and writes every day 100 things. No, it's enough to believe in your head, man. I really think it's enough to be in there. Yeah. And if you look in the mirror in the morning and you just say, okay, I'm happy today, I'm going to be happy today, and I'm going to achieve this. It happens. It really does. This positive thinking thing really, really works. It has in my life. And off late, I've seen in the last few years, I've definitely seen it a lot more happening, because whatever ups, whatever downs, when you literally turn around and tell the universe, thanks so much, man, you're giving me this project, it has happened. It actually has happened, because then the universe can't do anything about it. Say thank you to God and say thank you to the universe for something that you really, really want, but say it from your heart. And the universe has no choice but to make it happen for you, because you're doing it 100% from your heart.
Wow. And on that positive note, I'm going to let you go. Before that, I want to just ask you some rapid fire questions. Whatever
Okay,
comes to your mind, just one word answer.
sure.
Or maybe not one word, but like whatever. Don't
Okay,
think it.
quick answers. Don't think.
Quick answers. What would you tell 16 years old Suchi if you meet her today?
Get to 55, you're having a blast.
The best advice you ever received.
The best advice I've ever received is, I think, just believe in yourself. Yeah. And
What
believe in your abilities. Yeah.
what makes you feel sexy at 55?
What?
What makes you feel sexy at 55?
Ooh. Uh, the fact that I still have hair on my head. The fact that I can, what makes me feel sexy at 55 is the fact that I just wore a few months ago a pair of jeans that I wore when I was 17 years old. Yep.
Oh my God.
I'm a big hoarder. I still have my clothes from my junior college. And since fashion keeps going round and round, that's my style. See, that's my secret. Yeah.
Ah.
I swear to God, I wore those jeans and I was like, yay, they fit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. One skincare ritual you swear by because you're aging like this.
For sure, cleansing your face, no matter what time of day or night it is, rather what time of night it is, when you're before going to sleep, use proper cleansers and cleanse your face and then moisturize. Even if I'm like 4:30 a.m. in the morning, I will take off properly everything and only then go to sleep. That for sure.
What's your go-to self-care routine?
Go-to self-care routine. Well, um, I love using lots of different creams. I'm not one of those who needs a big brand or these expensive things or anything like that. I like to use different things. I mix it all up. Luckily, my skin manages to take it. So it's just the whole process. The evening process is probably a routine per se. As I said, take off makeup, wash with a face wash. That I don't use toner or anything, but I use Deepika Padukone's 82 East. I love her products, so I use that at the moment. That, and then once in a while doing a face pack. I don't do facials. I don't go for facials, but doing a face pack or something. And another good go-to thing for hair, I have to say, I'll share the secret. It's pure aloe vera, 2 tablespoons. Actually from the plant. Pure aloe vera, 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of dahi. Okay. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. 1 tablespoon of honey. 4 things. Okay. So 2, 2, 1, 1.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mix it all up in a blender. It becomes this kind of paste. You put it all over your hair for about 20-25 minutes before washing it, and you just see how your hair shines and how it feels.
Really? I'm gonna try.
Yeah, use your shampoo, conditioner, whatever, but put it before that and just see how it feels.
I'm gonna give it a try and let you know.
Yep.
If your journey were a book, what would the title be?
There's still so much more to do.
One word to describe your journey in the industry so far.
One word. Exciting is a boring word. Revelation.
Okay. And what are you still hungry for? What kind of a format or genre or role you haven't explored?
I'm hungry for doing more of my singing. I'm getting back to that, my live singing. So that I'm definitely hungry for, and I'm going to do that this year for sure. I'm hungry for doing, a few other movie projects. I would love to work with a few directors, and I make no qualms about actually calling up these directors and saying, hello, I'm there. Even till today, if I don't have work, I pick up the phone and I call at least 30 casting directors and I say, I don't have work at the moment. Is there anything happening which I can test for? Not give me the role. Can I test for this? And ma'am, yeah, what? And I said, no, can I test for something? I want you to know that right now I'm not working and I'm free. What's the harm? It's for a job.
What
If
do
they
you
might
have to lose? What do you have
no,
to lose? Nothing.
huh?
What do you have to lose, right? Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, and it's worked for me. It really has worked for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I'm hungry for. I mean, to do a hell of a lot more work. I would love to produce more stuff. I'm still a bit, people have come to me about directing, theater especially. I don't know why I've got to break that barrier. I don't know why I'm still not confident about that. I know I can do it. I'm a perfectionist. And if I take something on, I will do it. I will put them in line, you know. But that's something I'd love to do, direct. Yeah, but I'm a nitpicker. So God help those who are in my project. Yeah.
Yes, so on that directorial note, I'm going to let you go, but Suchitra Pillai, it was amazing. Thank you for being on You Are a Force. And thank you for not just sharing your story, but also showing what true force really looks like, from engineering labs to global stages, and from voicing icons to becoming the one, and from actually standing in front of the spotlight to creating one for the others. And your story is so inspiring. And to everyone who is listening, and this is your gentle reminder that you can rewrite your story from any page you're on, and every version of you, a dreamer, a doer, a beginner, a comeback queen, has a place in your plot. It doesn't matter how small or big the role is. The dream is
absolutely, absolutely. Before I run away, I just want other people to know that please, I would love for them to kind of catch my singing. So there's stuff on YouTube that you can see, and you will be hearing a beautiful song that me and Papon have sung together. That's coming out.
So
and
the link, I'll put it in the description so that everyone can actually go to the link and actually listen to that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll share the link. I'll share the links with you. There's a devotional song. There's lots of stuff that I've done, and I'd love for you all to hear it. Amazing. And there's a very exciting project coming up very soon, which is by director Priyadarshan, which should be out soon. It's a television docuseries. So, and I'm the main protagonist. It's called Mere Ram. So watch out for that.
Great. It's a global sisterhood. So I'm sure it's going to be out there with everybody, and we all are there to support each other. And this is actually
yes, everybody who's watching, men, women, whatever, you know, just be the force that you are, you know, because nobody can take that away from you. Yes. As long as you believe.
So stay bold, stay curious, and stay powerful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to You Are a Force. Hit subscribe and join us next week for more powerful stories from women rewriting the rules. Until then, keep building, keep leading, and remember, you are a force.